Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
Now on News 6, prosecutors say he should never have been let out. Now a man accused of grabbing a woman on a trail could soon be back behind bars. Why he's in trouble again just days later. And his story outraged animal lovers and changed state law. A dog left tied up on an interstate ahead of a hurricane. Why Trooper the dog's former owner will now never be punished.
He handled the situation unbelievably well. Most people wouldn't have been that calm, quite frankly.
Praise tonight from the boss of a repair technician who found himself suddenly under fire. A wounded man dove into his truck. But we start now at 10 tonight with a surge of deputies, police, and troopers looking for troublemakers.
Think of this for a minute. You have a couple 100,000 people coming in. There are people who are coming here to do no good. They're here to do mischief.
He is talking about Biketoberfest, and you can probably still see a sea of bikers in this live look at Main Street in Daytona Beach. And Sheriff Chitwood says his team and Daytona Beach Police have already made some arrests. Good evening, I'm Ginger Gadsden. Matt has the night off. With Orlando's Pride Parade and planned protests, we are already expecting Central Florida to be packed with people. Biketoberfest alone typically brings more than 100,000 bikers to town. And for the first time, cameras are keeping a constant watch on Main Street. News 6's Troy Campbell is in Daytona Beach. Sheriff Chitwood told him there is plenty of security you cannot see.
With tens of thousands of people expected to be out here for Biketoberfest, we spoke with Volusia Sheriff Mike Chitwood about his plans to keep everyone safe.
We have a good time, get home safely, and come back next year.
How would you describe the security presence down there?
I think there's the security presence that you see. You know, whether it be in Main Street or Cabbage Patch or up on US 1, you're going to see uniforms, you're going to see marked cars. But there's things that you're not going to see. There's a plain clothes component there. There's a camera component. You know, our county is ringed in tag readers.
Volusia Sheriff Mike Chitwood says agencies from across the county are helping step up the law enforcement presence at the 33rd annual Biketoberfest.
Deputies have already stepped in and have done some proactive moves.
Think of this for a minute. You have a couple 100,000 people coming in. There are people who are coming here to do no good. They're here to do mischief.
This is also the first big festival since a court ruling made open carry legal in Florida. But Sheriff Chitwood has a heads up for gun owners.
And this year in Florida, we do have open carry. But at Biketoberfest, there are some limitations with where you go inside places. So what are some important things that people should keep in mind?
The property owner has the right to say no firearms. And if you don't obey that and they call the police and you're in there, you will be arrested for it. That's trespassing.
And you still cannot bring a gun into a bar or any business that makes most of its money from alcohol. It's against state law.
The atmosphere is amazing. Motorcycle people are the coolest people. I feel like I have a friend no matter where I go in the world because the brotherhood is so strong.
That's not the only way Jack Corpella says he's impressed.
We see police officers. How do you feel when it comes to safety?
I think police do a great job containing the crowd, and also if you've noticed, when you pull onto Main Street, they now have cones and they have restrictive barriers so that vehicles that are too large can't get through.
This is beautiful. The weather's great and it's a fun event.
Connie Hadass is visiting from Pittsburgh. She too feels safe.
We see law enforcement out here.
It seems very safe. It seems very good. I mean, I feel comfortable.
And the 33rd Biketoberfest runs until Sunday. In Volusia County, I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
And Flagler County also working hard to keep Biketoberfest safe. The sheriff's office posted this scorecard from day one of Biketoberfest. With the help of troopers in the air, they made 114 traffic stops, wrote 45 tickets. They even arrested a super speeder going 102 on I-95, but there were 0 crashes. And as we give you one more live look at Biketoberfest, all agencies want to remind drivers to watch out as all those motorcycles take to the streets. Just be careful. The streets of Orlando are also sure to be jam-packed this weekend as the 21st annual Come Out with Pride celebration is set for tomorrow. It's expected to draw more than 200,000 people downtown. We spotted workers hanging flags with banners and placing parade signs. The festival runs from noon to 9:30 in Lake Eola Park. The Pride Parade itself steps off at 4 As a result, many downtown streets will be shutting down early tomorrow morning. Also tomorrow, protesters plan to line the streets in the heart of the city, marching against the Trump administration policies. A No Kings rally at City Hall is from 10 in the morning until noon. This is video from June when similar demonstrations took place. Protests are expected to take place nationwide tomorrow. We reached out to Orlando police to see if there would be increased security. The department said safety is the top priority, and it always plans and staffs large-scale events to make sure everyone is safe in case of an emergency. Now keep up with all the big events on clickorlando.com. For any traffic alerts, download our free News 6 mobile app. Just search WKMG in your app store. Developing tonight at 10, prosecutors now say a man accused of attacking a woman on a trail in Orange County could be back behind bars early next week. They say Jacoby Tillman has already violated the terms of his bond. His case outraged a lot of people after a judge granted him bond. News 6's Catherine Silver has been following this story all week.
This is the motion to revoke bond that was just obtained by News 6. It says when Jacoby Tillman was released this weekend, he was ordered not to have any direct or indirect contact with the victim or any witnesses in the case. But prosecutors say he made comments directed at a witness. Screenshots of Tillman's alleged TikTok show a text message that prosecutors say was sent by the witness to Tillman in the past. They believe Tillman posted that message with a caption that reads in part, quote, "Stop going to the news telling lies." Prosecutors argue that is grounds to revoke Tillman's bond, which was set at $9,500 by a judge this weekend. At the time, she gave this word of warning.
If I get any inkling that you have violated the conditions of pretrial release, you will be arrested on a no bond warrant, you'll be put right back in jail, and you will not get out. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
We're also learning that Tillman is now facing an added charge of attempted murder, which is a first-degree felony. Investigators say the 23-year-old tried to rape and strangle a woman on the Little Econ Greenway Trail in July. Court records show Tillman has pled not guilty to the charges. There is a hearing set for next week, which means Tillman could be ordered to go back to jail as soon as Tuesday. In the newsroom, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
Also developing tonight, a Massey employee on a service call narrowly escaped bullets meant for someone else. This happened this morning at the Dockside condos in Orlando. Arguments between two guys escalated to gunfire. One of them was hurt. The technician's truck was hit at least twice, but he was not hurt. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valente spoke with someone from Massey earlier today who walked us through what happened after the shots were fired.
After that, the person who was shot physically dove through the open window into the cab of the vehicle and landed inside of our vehicle. Wow. Now, the good news is our team member did not panic. He handled the situation unbelievably well. Most people wouldn't have been that calm, quite frankly.
The man who was shot was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. Orlando police would not say if an arrest has been made yet. New at 10 tonight, it's a story that left many people furious. It even led to a new state law. But tonight, charges have now been dropped against the man accused of leaving Trooper the dog tied to a fence on I-75 before Hurricane Milton. Who can forget these images? Tonight, your community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton, has reaction to the decision and even has an update on Trooper the dog.
Several people that I spoke with today tell me they were extremely disappointed by the outcome, and they say hopefully more enforcement is done in the future.
I don't blame you.
It's an outcome some are not thrilled about.
Incredibly disappointing.
I was upset, but not shocked.
Giovanni Garcia was arrested in October 2024 after Florida troopers found the dog, now known as Trooper, in nearly chest-deep water tied to a fence before Hurricane Milton on I-75. Garcia was facing animal cruelty charges, but the Hillsborough County State Attorney's Office just dropped them. In a statement, the office said, in part, quote, "We determined that we did not have sufficient evidence to prove that the defendant intentionally tied the dog to the fence in rising floodwaters."
I think all of us are disappointed by that outcome, but of course, this issue led to legislation, so ideally it never happens again.
State Representative Ana Escamani helped pass Troopers Law in a unanimous vote back in May. As of October 1st, it is now a third-degree felony to restrain and abandon a dog outdoors during a declared national disaster.
When it comes to disaster preparedness, you need to take responsibility of your pet, and if you think you can't, there needs to be awareness of the options for you to ensure that pet's going to be in a safe place.
The punishment is up to 5 years in prison and a fine. But the founder of Rescue Pink Animal Justice Task Force believes more needs to be done to make sure this doesn't happen again.
What we need are state attorneys, prosecutors, and judges to start enforcing the current laws we already have.
As for Trooper, he has come a long way. Vets found several pounds of trash in his stomach. Later, he was treated for cancer. We recently shared an update from his new family.
He still has a little bit of PTSD, I would say. He reacts when he hears certain noises, he really reacts, jumps into the air, he's frightened by it.
And both of the people that I spoke with say hopefully more enforcement is followed through when it comes to animal welfare. And they also say hopefully something like this doesn't happen again. Reporting, I'm News 6's Tylisa Hampton.
Well, an overcrowded road is now causing headaches for Central Florida drivers.
It's at least 30 minutes to go about 7 miles. Usually it's 45 minutes.
Next at 10, Matt Austin digs into how the state is working to ease the pain for drivers on Narcoossee Road. David.
Yeah, and then when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the weekend, a little brief shot of rainfall, and then we got to keep our eyes on the tropics. I'll have all the details coming right at you next.
An AirTag ambush in the Tampa area, how robbers targeted a couple by planting a tracker on their car, and how that same AirTag led to 2 arrests. And they've come nearly 8,000 miles to carve up millions of pounds of ice. How Gaylord Palms welcome the artisans who bring their ice attraction to colorful life. You're watching News 6 at 10 live on a Friday night, covering Heathrow in the Atlantic and all of Central Florida.
Imagine you take an elevator to work every morning. These elevators have a limit of how many people they can transport. What if every morning your elevator were overflowing, exceeding the limit? That's similar to what's happening on Narcoossee Road on the border of Orange and Osceola counties.
Have you lived here for a while?
5 years.
And have you seen it steadily get worse?
Yes! It's not fun.
It's frustrating because you You never know. I mean, sometimes you'll get a break, but even still, it's at least 30 minutes to go about 7 miles. Usually it's 45 minutes.
This is a common complaint.
The traffic lights are not synced at all.
News 6 learned about the problem online.
45 minutes to literally drive down 2 miles down the road is absolutely insane.
Absolutely horrible, all stemming from greed.
The issue is only getting worse. According to state numbers, in 2022, 38,000 cars took this route per day. 2 years later, more than 58,000 cars are clogging Narcoossee. And this road is only designed to handle 55,000.
It's a typical suburban 6-lane arterial, but I think what's special is that it's seen an exceptional amount of growth in recent years.
Mike Wilson works for Metroplan Orlando. He says all that growth is coming in southeast Orange County and northern Osceola. The traffic is compressed onto Narcoossee. The big question we're hearing from people is why? Why is it so congested?
It's simply, there's no other route for people to take if they want to go north and south, and more people are going to the corridor.
Metroplan Orlando studied the lights, reconfigured them to optimize traffic patterns, but during the evening peak hours from 192 to Boggy Creek, they reduced the drive time by only 36 seconds, and it increased 6 seconds during the morning rush. Drivers didn't even notice.
It's bad in the morning and it's bad in the afternoon. If you go down here about 2 or 3 o'clock, it's backed up for about 4 miles every day.
All day, every minute, it doesn't matter, every hour.
Now to a terrifying story out of the Tampa area. A couple was ambushed by robbers who used Apple AirTags taped to their bumper to track their movements. Newly released surveillance video shows what happened back in August. They had just pulled their car into the driveway. This was in Odessa, when the two men who were lying in wait walked up and forced them into the garage.
The wife opens her door and she's immediately attacked by one of our suspects. He physically grabs her and pulls her out of the car. Almost simultaneously, the driver and husband gets pulled out of the car with a gun into his waist.
Now, once in the house, an alarm scared them off, but deputies say the same AirTag helped them track down those two men. Body camera footage of one of them getting pulled over and taken into custody.
What's your first name? Your last name's Charles, right?
Yeah.
Lewis? Is
Yeah.
that your first name? All right. Can you just step up in the car real quick for me?
What's so interesting is that the AirTag helped the burglars track their victims. But in this case, it also helped you catch them.
Absolutely. They use their name to purchase it. They use their name to register it, and their phone number and their email address. So that was the big break in the case, because we were able to identify through video surveillance.
Apple says it's working with law enforcement and safety groups, and that every AirTag has a unique serial number inside the battery compartment tied to an Apple ID. Unbelievable. New at 10 tonight, a new push to help some of those hardest hit by the government shutdown. TSA agents and air traffic controllers who are working now without pay. Legally, they cannot walk off the job, but they can call in sick. In some places, that's happening in large numbers, but not at Orlando International. MCO says thanks to those workers, there have been few and minor disruptions. Tonight, the Airport Authority is launching a food drive to help them out. The Airport Authority is calling on the public to donate non-perishable food, pet food, soap, and cleaning supplies. They are also taking $10 gift cards to places like Publix, Walmart, and Target. You're asked to bring donations to the Terminal C departures curb at Orlando International Airport from 9 in the morning till 2 p.m. starting tomorrow and running through Friday. Orlando Executive Airport will also take donations Monday through Friday. Now, we put the full details on the food drive right on the homepage. You'll find it on clickorlando.com. Well, it's a sign the holidays are closer than you think. Today, Gaylord Palms welcomed 40 master ice carvers. They travel from China each year to transform 2 million pounds of ice into the resort's colorful ice attraction. News 6 digital journalist Haley Coombs and photojournalist Charles Holmes give us a look at the artisans in action.
It is so nostalgic to have the classic Christmas movie, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We have 11 scenes from the iconic scenes from the movie, make them into ice form. We have Hermie, the elf that wants to be a dentist. We have Rudolph himself with Clarice. We have the Island of Misfit Toys. We have over 2 million pounds of ice, 9 degrees, so make sure you bundle up. They carve for 33 days straight. And it is really in their tradition and culture. Wish you well, have good luck. Our way of welcoming them to the States, specifically Kissimmee, Florida, and wish them luck on their adventure. They've already done so much work in the past 6 days of carving. We really have it all this year, and it is so special to come see.
Wow. Well, new at 10 tonight, SeaWorld Orlando is celebrating what they call a remarkable milestone. For the first time, a young small-toothed sawfish has now moved into his permanent home. In the aquarium outside the Mantis roller coaster, Axel is not just part of a critically endangered species, he also is one of 3 sawfish to be born at SeaWorld since 2023. He's been backstage until now. SeaWorld Orlando is the only place in the nation where you can see sawfish and only the second in the world to breed them. Axel was moved today in honor of International Sawfish Day. Did not know we had to celebrate that, but there's still time left, everybody. It's almost 10:30. All right, meteorologist David Nazario is in for Jonathan Kagas tonight. What a weekend we're in store for, David.
Yeah, not as much of a mixed bag as we saw the last couple of weekends. We'll get you some headlines, and we're finally at the full weather segment here. So for the next 24 hours, a little warm, a little warm, muggy out there. Clouds are going to begin to build in, just like we saw earlier today. And then Sunday through Monday, that's when that next cold front's going to come through. So we might get a little dusting of rainfall, especially during the second half, early evening hours of Sunday. But looking pretty good as we start the Monday. And then at the bottom there, this is also pretty exciting, in my opinion. Might be a pleasant rest of the month based on the trends that I'm seeing. You look outside right now and the dry air is dominating. The radar is completely clear and it's going to continue to stay overhead. Look at these deep shades of rustic orange and red colors. That's all that dry air in response to this big old feature way off the northeast coast of the United States. That's tagged by National Hurricane Center, believe it or not. We have another storm system back here, though. This is the one that's going to continue to sink down towards the southeast, coming through us as we go through the day on Sunday. Some of the moisture on the leading edge might bring a little bit of rainfall for us, but in terms of your Saturday, looking really good. It is going to be a little warmer out there. If you notice, we do kind of get into the low to mid 80s during the afternoon. Clouds are going to build in as we start to see some of that moisture coming in, but all in all, a great Saturday, not only to just get out and about, but especially for Biketoberfest. The overall weekend is looking really good. Touch warmer on Sunday because we will continue to be right on the nose of that new trough, that surface front coming in, and you can see that on Saturday and Sunday, rain chances do begin to build. I'd probably take this 20, put it on Monday, to tell you the truth. I think that might be a little out to lunch, and I'll show you why. So as we fast forward to Sunday at 4 o'clock, there's the front. You can see still outside of our viewing area, but getting close to Gainesville. And then as we go through about 8 p.m., the front should be draped right overhead. But since the sun has gone down, we've started to see some of that daytime, or I should say early evening cooling take effect. Notice that a lot of the rain peters off. You fast forward through early Monday morning, we're left with some lingering clouds on the back side of that feature, but overall rain chances should be fairly low. Maybe some stray stuff down near the Four Corners counties, but that's about it. And if you look, not much rain elsewhere on the horizon unless something down in the tropics gets going. Temperatures are going to be pretty good. You can see for tonight, looking at the low to mid 60s. Some of us may try to get into the upper 50s as we go through the forecast lows, and then forecast highs for tomorrow. Not really changing too much, which is always great news. Rest of the month does seem a little on the cooler side, though, to tell you the truth. Look as we get closer to Halloween, big old dome of blue coming right at us, so it might even be great for your Halloween festivities. So all in all, looking at a pretty great rest of the month here in Central Florida. We'll take you over to your 7-day forecast here. Notice that we only have a chance for rain for Sunday and Monday. Sunday, we really got to take advantage, to tell you the truth, because it might be also a dry rest of October into November and perhaps the rest of the year. Ginger.
Looking good, David. Thank you. Well, questions in one Central Florida neighborhood, as some say they are dealing with septic spills. But who is responsible? Next at 10, community correspondent James Barbero went to find answers.
So people ask me all the time, how do you get your story ideas? Well, here's a great example. A woman here at the mobile homes on Corral Circle wrote to us, "We have been having septic spills and cave-ins for more than 1 year. Finally, the health department was contacted and visited the park last week, blocking off 7 areas that have standing sewage or are caved in." She goes on to say the folks here literally cannot use their yards. So I wanted to come here to see just how bad it is for myself. And right away, I can see 2 of those caution taped areas she mentioned right in here. And walking a little bit closer, I met Patty. So Patty, what's going on here? What are we looking at?
Raw sewage, a caved-in cesspool, and it's been like this for over a year now.
So what's the problem?
It's just caving in, and they keep putting stuff, well, we keep putting stuff around it and on top so that somebody walking through that doesn't know about it doesn't fall in to raw sewage.
And what's your worst fear if this keeps up and continues?
Health risks.
I called the company Patty and other neighbors told me is in charge of the park, but I didn't hear back Friday. Meanwhile, the mess remains. You don't think you're asking for much just to clean this up?
No. I mean, who wants to sit outside and smell raw sewage? You can't.
And I'm going to stay connected with Patty and her neighbors, so whenever we hear news about possible solutions that could clean up this mess finally, we'll update this story on clickorlando.com. In Brevard County, I'm your Mims community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us for the news tonight. You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus. It is free to download on your smart TV or your streaming device. We'll see you back here on TV at 11 o'clock. Did you just salute?
I always do that. That's the outro right there.
Bye.